So Raider Nation, there are two players that the Las Vegas Raiders just drafted the other day. And a lot of people have been talking about a couple of aspects of these two guys. But there's something that has been missed by the mainstream media as well as a lot of the talking heads here on YouTube and other social media sites. Today, we're going to get into two wide receivers, Dante Thornton Jr. and Jack Bech. The new wide receiver additions to the Las Vegas Raiders and a couple of things that nobody's really been talking about and why this is definitely going to change the face of the offense under Chip Kelly's leadership as the offensive coordinator and our coach in Pete Carroll. Stay tuned for today's episode of the Raider D podcast. I am Mike Dean, the host, aka Raider D here, and I'm going to be showing you some things about these two guys and why this has such a big impact on the Las Vegas Raiders offense, which has been anemic to say, the least. Over the past several years, I think things are drastically about to change the fortunes of the Las Vegas Raiders. So let's get into it. But before we do, I do just want to say thank you so much for today's sponsor, and that is Box House. Guys, if you have not gone and checked them out just yet, go and check them out. If you are in need of an ADU, an additional dwelling unit, if you have some property and you just want to plop down a move-in ready house that is ready to go, Box House is your source that you want to go and check out because they have some great designs over there and they can pretty much deliver it and drop it down anywhere in the country. Box House, give my guy Kevin a call. Boom, here's the guy right here. He will take really good care of you. So happy to have them on as a sponsor of the channel. Also want to say thank you, obviously, again to Hour.com for keeping me and my family's privacy and digital privacy private out there by going and searching the dark web and finding out where any of our information may be lying, as well as putting takedown requests for all of the data brokers who are selling our information. So thank you to Hour.com. Guys, go check out your 14-day free trial. Sign up. If you don't like it, you can cancel, but in that 14-day free trial, they will do the dark web scan for you and let you know where your information is. They'll also put in a whole bunch of takedown requests for all the data brokers, but they have a lot of other goodies over there for you as well to keep you and your family safe. So thank you to Hour.com for being a sponsor of the channel, as well as Vtoman Solar. Yes, Vtoman Solar. My guys over there take care of us out here on the Raider Ranch, where we are completely off-grid and reliant on solar power, and Vtoman has our back. Our entire operation is basically going through Vtoman solar panels and their inverters and stuff. They got some really cool stuff over there, linked down in the description. Now let's get into today's video. I want to talk about Jack Bech. There's a couple of things that, a lot of people haven't been talking about right now. Now, first of all, he played with TCU. He was a transfer over there. And one of the things that you don't know about Jack Bech is, unfortunately, this year, his brother was killed in a tragic attack down in New Orleans. Some crazy guy drove a truck into a crowd. And so this is a personal tragedy for him and his family. And in honor of his brother on Senior Bowl, he went and played, and this dude balled out at the Senior Bowl. He won the MVP of the Senior Bowl, and he really showed his talents. Now, some people have been reporting on that, but what people aren't reporting on and why this is such a big factor for the Las Vegas Raiders is Jack Bech, who stands at 6'1", he's listed about 214 pounds up to 220 pounds. He not only played wide receiver, but he also played, when he was with LSU, he played tight end. So here's a guy who is an excellent possession receiver, a guy who could basically play that slot receiver position and catch everything that's coming to him. But he also can play tight end, and he is an excellent blocker.
Yeah, whenever I get on that field, especially now after the passing of my brother, all my emotions I let out on the field. I'm not scared to go put my nose in there, go crack a safety, go crack a linebacker. I love doing those things. I love coming across the middle of the field, catching the rock, know I'm about to get hit. I think that's where my dog mentality comes into play.
Now we're going to catch on to why that is such a big deal for the Las Vegas Raiders and what we are planning on doing. But here is the main reason why a lot of people are upset at this pick. They didn't understand, why did you pick Jack Bech out of TCU? There were other wide receivers who were better than Jack Bech on the board. There's a couple of things. Number one, he is touted for his leadership in the locker room and on and off the field. This is a very big thing with this GM and head coach that we now have here. It is all about character, character, character. Now, we can deal with some character issues if you're just, far and beyond above everybody else athletically. But for the most part, the way that Pete Carroll builds his teams is through character guys. And if you look at the Super Bowl champion Seattle Seahawks, most of his stars like Bobby Wagner and, even his quarterback and wide receivers, they were all drafted, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth round guys. But they were all high character, high motor guys who love football and they give everything to their craft. And this is exactly what Jack Bech is. He is a very high character guy. He's not going to be an issue. We don't expect to see him in Vegas speeding down the street at 150 miles an hour in a Corvette while intoxicated. Or going on TikTok flashing, water pistols and stuff like that. That's just not what Jack Bech is going to do. This dude's going to be in the building every single day. He's going to be working his butt off every single day. He is going to bring leadership to this team, and that is the type of guy that you need. And this is what everybody is missing. Everybody's talking about his physical traits, his blocking traits, his, being able to play a tight end, his brother's tragedy. Nobody's talking about the character and the leadership that he's going to bring, and that is why the Raiders drafted Jack Bech over everybody else. And I think it is a fantastic deal. Now, what does that mean? Because this dude is most likely going to be a slot receiver, but isn't that Jacoby Myers' job? Well, Jacoby Myers showed last year that he can absolutely play X and excel at it. And so I think that the plan may be to move Jacoby more full-time over into that X wide receiver slot, that wide out position. And then you're going to utilize Jack Bech in that slot receiver. Combine that with Brock Bowers, who's lined up next to him. Oh my goodness, you have blocking power for Ashton Genty to open up big holes, and you have plenty of firepower for Geno Smith to throw the ball to. And I think that this is absolutely perfect for the type of offense that the Raiders are trying to build. So Jack Bech, I give this an A+. For drafting him in the second round, not getting into too much of the hype, and grabbing somebody that a lot of people were not talking about. Now, there's another wide receiver that we need to talk about as well, and I'm very excited about this guy because, in my opinion, he could be an absolute game changer for the Raiders. Now, this is another guy who was not highly touted coming out of the draft. A lot of people weren't talking all about him, but we are talking about Dante Thornton Jr., the standout 6'5", 205-pound guy who runs a 4.3 40 flat. Now, there's some downsides to him that people have been talking about, but I actually want to debunk some of those downsides that people have been saying about Dante Thornton Jr. Now, first and foremost, he has elite speed. We know that. He also has the elite size at 6'5". We all know that. But one thing that a lot of people don't talk about is this dude is excellent as a ball tracker. This dude can track the ball anywhere, any throw that is coming his way. He is absolutely going to track that ball, and he's going to come down with it. He has excellent hands. But here's something that a lot of people also have not been talking about, and this is going to relate back to Jack Bech. He's also an absolute monster when it comes to blocking corners and safeties to open up the outside runs. This dude is not shy to block. He loves to block. He is a missile. He loves to heat seek anyone out there in the secondary on a run play and lay them on their back.
Looking back all the way to your Oregon days when they had you blocking guys, nobody even realized that. At Tennessee, nobody would ever know, You blocked the hell out of people and you caught a bunch of deep balls. Just what we want. Nice goal, man. Guys are fired up for you here.
Now, why is that so important to the Raiders? Well, because you spent the number 6 overall draft pick on the best running back in the college football last year in Ashton Jeanty. And so you want wide receivers out there that you are drafting who are also excellent at blocking in the run scheme. And that's exactly what you got. So here's what I'm thinking that you're going to utilize Jack Bech, and you're going to utilize Jacoby Myers, who's also an excellent blocker, and you throw in Dante Thornton Jr., who's also a heat-seeking missile as a blocker, and you're going to put them out there on those run packages, and it's just going to open up all kinds of holes for Ashton Jeanty to just run straight through and pick up those big yards. So again, I'm absolutely loving this. Now, there's some weaknesses to him when it comes to the route tree, and this is what a lot of people have been dogging him on. The problem is this: he played in a non-pro style offense at college, and they limited him to a deep threat. And this is why he only got like 36 targets the entire year, but he still put up over 600 yards, and he was leading the nation at over 25 yards per catch. So that's the way that they used him in college. He basically had 3 routes that he ran in college over and over and again. And that's because that's the way his coach and offensive coordinator simply put him in. But if you go back to his high school days and look at the film there, he had a much broader route tree. Is he crisp? Is he the best route runner in the world? Absolutely not. He needs to work on that. But everybody keeps saying that he is limited in his route tree. And in fact, that was just a product of the school that he went to and the coaching staff that were simply putting him in that pigeonhole of just a deep threat, 3 routes, that's it type of guy.
I just say like my intermediate and medium route running, like with my past 2 years, I haven't really had the opportunity to really display that as much. So just getting back in the flow of doing that, I just say that was the number one thing everybody was saying.
I'm telling you right now, when you go back and look at some of his high school tape, this dude can absolutely run every single route out there. He needs to work on his crispness with it because he tends to round out his routes way too much. If he can get sharper in that, this dude is going to be phenomenal. Contested catch, the dude's got big hands, big body. He's taller than every single corner in the NFL. And all you got to do is just high point the ball to him, especially in the end zone, and you guarantee Dante Thornton Jr. is coming down with it. Bottom line is this, guys. The Las Vegas Raiders made some major moves that were proven and will be proven throughout the season to be absolutely genius in my opinion. Instead of going for the media hyped players, Shedeur Sanders, or others, they went with the high character guys, the high production motor guys, the guys who are selfless, the guys who are going to get out there and block for Ashton Jeanty. And you know, you got to throw a little bone to the Davis family and go get a guy who runs a 4.340. You just got to do it. But he has such a high side, a high upside, in my opinion. Dante Thornton Jr., this was definitely an A+ draft pick for the Raiders. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. I love reading your comments. I respond to as many as I can. And I'll see you in the next Raiders video.